rockers wanted to do something, and it's a real loose engagement. So if you're here tonight and you're like, WTF question mark, we apologize. But that's punk rock. So what you pay $6 to see is probably the biggest punk rock moment of your life.
Punk rock scene in Florence. Who are all these people?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're PDH.
Hey, we're the Significant Others. We are the Sex Mutants. We got like half of 49 reasons here, and 24 and a half reasons.
We're uptight, and we love Alan Johnson.
There was a big burgeoning scene in South Carolina in the 80s, and Florence was the focal point of a lot of it. There were a lot of diverse and very different sounding bands from Florence or outer parts that all met up with musicians in Florence. There is one tie that binds all these bands together, and that was Alan Johnson.
Alan Johnson, he's the man that all knows.
Alan Johnson. Alan Johnson.
Alan Johnson memory.
My favorite Alan Johnson memory.
My memories of Alan, is buying my first bass, came from Parker Music.
If it was not for Alan Johnson, there would be no music scene in Florence.
Hanging out at Alan Johnson's house, and like he always hooked us up. He's like, we'd sit around all night just playing. He'd play acoustic guitar and we'd do the punk rock songs and whatnot.
It gives you a whole PA to rent anywhere else, $200 or $300. You rent a PA for $25 or $50. Just give me $25, take the PA. Then we bring it back with half the stuff broken, but no. We always just broke the snaps. The snaps were the microphone.
I remember back in the day, I was very, very troubled youth. I would always hang out with Alan because he would have a good perspective on things, and he was always there. I mean, the music's one thing, but just the camaraderie and the advice, that's what really counted.
He played a party at my house when Steve here dropped a cigarette and burned a hole in my mom's carpet. I had a few too many.
most punk rock memory.
Punk rock.
That was pretty punk rock.
It's punk rock.
Punk rock. It's this guy in Myrtle Beach who got mad because I took his girlfriend away from him. And he wanted to prove he was more punk rock than me. And he ate a beer bottle to prove to this girl he was more punk rock than me. And so he ate this beer bottle. I still got the girl. Then the guy hit me. I've got a scar like right here.
I see it.
He hit me with like one of the gloves with the spikes on them. And then she went back and got him drunk and shaved his head.
Probably Bedlam Hour, man. I liked Bedlam Hour. I was a Bedlam Hour fan and the Frankenberry Mosh. Dude had the Executioner mask on, the bass player. And he was like an older dude. You could tell he was older by looking at him. He was all muscles, Executioner mask, and a diaper. And then you had the singer guy, I don't remember his name, but he wore like the polyester suit, and they threw out the Frankenberry cereal.
I think the most punk rock thing I've ever done is more humorous than anything was our friend Steve Hart. We were at this Duster, and we were at this party, and we were just kind of sitting around, and I was eating some pretzels. And it was actually pretzel chips. And we're sitting around the table, and I'm eating these pretzel chips. And Duster is like eyeballing the pretzel chips. And he goes, "Hey, man, how about giving me some of those pretzel chips?" Well, I reached down beside me, and there happened to be a bag of dog biscuits. So I ate the pretzel chips, and I kept feeding Duster the dog biscuits. He was eating them? This went on for 45 minutes. He was eating the dog biscuits.
Loving them, too. Loving them. Well, my earliest recollection of punk starts with the Sex Mutants. There may be earlier bands in South Carolina, but if they are, I don't know them. They were the first punk band to record in South Carolina, as I understand it. They have that distinction. And they influenced a lot of the younger kids, like me, who came after them. Bad Idea, Tylenol Scare, Frog Abortions. These were all bands, younger bands that were influenced by the Sex Mutants.
All right. In case y'all didn't know, we are the Sex Mutants. We got Paul Miyazaki over here on bass guitar. We got Sid Mutant on drums. Got Jeff X on guitar. Just me and Jeff X started this band in my bedroom. Not in a gay way. And we met Alan Johnson. Alan Johnson's like, "You guys suck, but I'll sell you some guitar strings." We used to go to Alan Johnson and buy one string at a time, dude. Anyone plays guitar, no, that's fucking unbelievable. Another unsung hero here tonight is Rubba Say. It's me and Jeff. We were getting stoned with Rubba Say one morning. He's like, "You gotta meet this guy named Sid Mutant." That means they're tired of me talking. Now this song we haven't played in fucking... like I was trying to say, we haven't played that in 25 fucking years. This next song, it's the first song on our new album. Wow, wow.
All right, that's where it all started, the Sex Mutants. I came here in 1983 and was putting up with that by 1984. That was great. All right, now, everybody's way too kind to me and I appreciate it, but there gotta be limits. There's so many cool people here tonight and I can't talk about all of you, but when we talk about the scene starting, we got Debbie from Debbie's Barn, Debbie Hart. We got 3 of the Cell Brothers here tonight. That's pretty cool. No, thank you. Irvin Dorgan is here from Migo Studios. When have you seen him? Dang. Eddie and his mom from Eddie's Pet. Man, you remember those shows? Hey, we drink beer here.
Well, the birth of Eddie's Pit was basically just going to shows and seeing everybody play these shows and have to pay for venues. And I talked to my mom, I was like, look, these guys are going out having to pay money to have shows. I said, you know what? Let's just have the shows at my house, on my ramp. We don't charge any money.
Would say yes, though. I guess your mom is.
What mom would say yes?
Exactly.
A lot of moms wouldn't, but my mom did. And basically what it come down to was like, look, I'd rather you have fun in your own yard than going out having fun in other people's and coming home drunk and getting fucked up. I'd rather have you there where I can keep my eye on you, which is great. But to be honest, it's just what I love doing. I had a skateboard ramp. I was like, you know, we got enough space to have ramp. We got enough space to have a party. We got enough space to have bands. Let's put them on there. We'll go from there. And my mom was like, look, do whatever, just have a good time. Like Alan was doing with sound, my mom was doing with the venue. Denise was the best mother in the world.
At some point, Jeff Frazier and Herman parted ways. Jeff started Uptight, which I joined along with Paul Miyazaki and some other cats. When I left, Will Harper and Kevin Watford joined the group.
He's the man that all knows.
Alan Johnson.
Alan Johnson.
Alan Johnson memory.
My favorite Alan Johnson memory.
When we would do shows, he had the sound system. Wanted to buy a guitar string. We actually bought single strings from Alan Jay back in the day, you know? Alan Johnson was everything to us.
And then the 49 Reasons, I know he hates this one, but we didn't have a trailer. Our trailer died. He let us borrow his trailer. We took it around the country, and we totaled it, which it was actually, now you got me, it was my fault that I jackknifed the trailer, Alan. Okay, I'll admit it. It was my fault.
He would let you buy an amp that cost $200 or $300, give him $100 and pay him, $100 next week or whatever.
I think with Alan, he kind of crosses genres. He didn't really care if you were a punk musician or a metal musician or however you chose to classify yourself, people chose to classify you. If you were just someone who enjoyed making music, Alan was someone you could talk to.
And then he taught me the solo to the specials. One of the special songs, he taught me the solo. He's like, wow, this is how you play it. I learned it, and I forgot it.
I was in junior high school, Southside Jazz Band, and, we kept going up to Parker Music to buy sticks. I didn't even know how to fucking play drums. But I'd go up there, and I remember seeing Brant Mills rock out the SOD. I thought it was God. And I met... Yeah, no, Brant's not here, I don't think. But I met Alan, and he was always just really nice and encouraging. And, I wanted to have a big rock and roll metal identity. So I show up, smelling like a brand new pup. And, I have a Southside Junior High School band concert with Mrs. Sides. So, we have the concert and it's over, and there's Alan. And my mom dropped me off for this thing. So, I do the concert, Alan's there, and I just look at him and I go, you never saw me here. I was embarrassed to be in jazz band. And he just laughed. He goes, oh, no, you played great. And I'm like, no, man, because I just want to be so rock and metal.
Woo! Man, bass players are stupid. How can y'all do this?
Florence was a musical mecca for strange, weird, and cool music that was underground, not the mainstream. You didn't see this kind of stuff on MTV. If you got MTV at all back in the 80s, it was a new thing then, believe it or not. They actually showed music back then, I hear. 49 Reasons showed members from Florence and Chirac and Hartsville, Disciples of Mez, Brother Rude that would eventually become the Independents. For a large part of it, there really wouldn't have been a scene. There would have been no shows. There wouldn't be kids like me back then buying their first guitar from Parker Music if it wasn't for Alan Jay.
Everybody loves you alive. That's just the reality, right? You know that, right? You know, you trust a lot of people. My question to you is why? Why'd you do all this nice stuff? I mean, for real, like, that always puzzles me. Why?
I had fun too. I don't know. It just seemed to be what to do at the time. I don't know. I mean, I like to see people producing their own music and having fun. And, you know, I came to town and that's what was happening. I met some cool people. And but just the fact that this scene was kind of a do-it-yourself scene. They didn't really rely on anybody, but they needed a little help.
Yes.
So I gave them a little bit of help, a little direction, a little bit of guitar strings, one at a time. And
so when the PA systems came back busted, what did you do with that? How did you just like that's just your contribution?
Well, no, I mean, usually I went with the PA.
Yeah,
so when it busted, I figured it was my fault, you know. And I mean, I got my $25 out of them. Sometimes 50. But I don't know how to answer those questions. This is kind of what I was doing. Just my hobby, you know. Some people buy an airplane. I was supporting punk rock and heavy metal and whatever.
Alan Johnson and 49 Reasons. You are clear for takeoff.
All right.
Standing in the rain, roll, doing
Maybe I should have practiced that one more, but that was cool. That was fun.
My most punk rock memory.
Punk rock.
That was pretty punk rock.
Punk rock.
Punk rock.
Everybody mosh pitting around the ramp.
Outside of it?
Yeah, no, on it. Like using the transition. The stage was set up. Everybody just mosh pitting.
Psychodrama. We played at Debbie's Barn. And there were these two guys. This one guy looked like Eric Bloom from Blue Oyster Cult. Black aviator shades and, you know, Van Dyke and black leather jacket. And his buddy who had this like monkish kind of haircut. And they put up all these posters of offensive sayings around the barn and had a ladder, and the music was screeching cats and weird found sampled stuff. They're kind of ahead of their time. They're more industrial than punk rock, I guess. But at one point, Eric Bloom guy is sitting in a chair and he's got his microphone and he's doing his spoken word bit. And his accomplice is wearing a brown Jedi monk robe. And he's doing his bit. He's standing on top of a ladder with a picture of Marilyn Monroe draped over it. And he's ripping pages out of a Bible and doing his thing. And most of the punks are just kind of looking at each other going, you know, a drummer? Well, what's going on with these cats? The guy descends the ladder, pulls out a toy musket, hikes up his robe, he's not wearing anything underneath, sits down on it, and begins to gyrate with a helicopter-type motion. I'll let your imagination fill in the rest. Right. Clear the place out. Except for like 5 or 6 cats who were just going, wow, did you see that? 15 minutes later, someone ran and got all the rednecks from the Burger King down the road. They show back up en masse, wanting to lynch them faggots. Holy shit. A contingent of big burly cats on our side stepped up. It was almost a confrontation, and I think the psychodrama guys kind of like changed clothes and hauled ass.
The most punk rock memory I have is the time back in Patriots Place. We met these girls and they started hanging out with us, and they found out how much Darren liked the Ramones, and they went and bought some Converse, Chuck Taylors, and they wrote Ramones on the side, but they didn't spell it right. They spelled it R-O-M-O-N-E-S.
Well, of course, there was a police riot at Shelley's birthday party out in the country. Where,
Who was playing?
I don't remember, but Rubba was tuning his guitar when the police came in, and they held a loaded shotgun to his face because he didn't hear him tell him to stop tuning his guitar. And they blocked the whole parking lot and told everybody to leave. But nobody could leave because they blocked the parking lot. People were running through a cornfield. It was crazy. The other thing is I went with Uptight to Augusta one time, and we spent the night. I had to sleep under somebody's kitchen table and woke up with a dog on my face. So that was pretty punk rock.
When Darren put on all his clothing and decided to jump into the pool.
All his clothes were dirty, so he wanted to wash them by jumping in the pool.
He decided to jump all into the pool.
And he almost couldn't get back to the top because it made him so heavy. He said he thought he was going to drown because he was...
Pretty punk rock.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the deal with the Painted Hippie? When I was at Brevard College in my freshman year, I had hanging out with all the art students, and so these two girls had to do a large sculpture project. So they decided that they would paint me and use me for their art project. And, so we're standing out in the sunshine, and they were painting my body, and then when it was over, I had to go in and talk to the art teacher, and he graded them on me being their sculpture. And then years later, Jeff X was hanging out at my house, and I accidentally let him see a picture of me getting painted by these two girls. And, so he started talking about the Painted Hippie. And then, just before this event, Kevin Watford said, "Tell him, can you find that copy of the picture of the Painted Hippie?" And I didn't realize he had never seen it before, so I actually got kind of tricked, because Jeff was the only one who'd ever seen it. And so then this picture's floating around of me with my shirt off and all painted up with two girls, which is kind of cool, but anyway. But that's basically the story of the Painted Hippie.
Alan Johnson, he's the man. All I know.
Alan Johnson.
Alan Johnson memory.
Alan Johnson.
My favorite Alan Johnson memory.
Probably the funniest memory I have of Alan Johnson was hanging out over at his house with Jeff Frazier from Uptight and drinking beers. And I think it might have been Alan's birthday, somebody's birthday. This was years ago, and alcohol was involved. But I do remember back in the day, Alan bore an uncanny resemblance to a certain fast food franchise mascot. And Jeff and I somehow talked him into putting on this crown, and I like magic and food, that's fun. It's much better when Alan does it, but that image is indelibly burnt into my brain. Now it's nightmare fuel because the Burger King is freaking scary. They should have gotten Alan to be the mascot because he was much more personable from fella. He would have sold more burgers.
And then we had to do some benefit for the USC, and some dude in a kilt playing, what do you call the kilts in the, bagpipe dude, some red-headed bagpipe dude was in the elevator with me. And I'm like, yeah, we're playing this thing, and I don't know how. I think I said I live in Florence. I came from Florence, but I live here. I don't know how in the elevator that quick, talking to some crazy old dude red hair, and I was like, somehow he's like, oh, me and Alan Johnson, and he was like, oh yeah, he's the man. I think they grew up together and played together and jammed, and it was so funny. This guy was just like, oh my God.
I mean, who else could you call at the last minute? We had a 2-month tour booked, have no trailer, we can't take anything, and we call Alan and say, hey, can we take your trailer? And he said yes, and we took it, and it came back. It came back in 2 pieces, but it came back.
And we were a bunch of screwed up kids who had no talent. And Alan, he's always call him like, he's like the English press. Where the English press gives respect to anyone that's playing, you know? And Alan gave us respect. Even though we sucked really bad, he gave us mad respect and just encouraged us to keep on going, and we did.
He's a one-of-a-kind cat, and he still does it to this day. You know, all the people that he touched, all of us young kids, we're all still playing music. We're all happy to be musicians in whatever field that we play in now, whether it's punk, rock, jazz, country, blues, whatever. We're all doing it because of Alan Johnson and his influence on us.
You mean as much to me as you mean to everybody here, obviously, by showing their support. And thanks for being a great friend all these years. And that's my memory of him. That's, I love him forever.
I don't know what to say. No, I mean, seriously, it's just so cool to have all these people expressing their love and affection, and you know, you always wonder if you deserve it, you always wonder if you haven't, but when people start saying things, there's nothing bad about that.
I'm going to have to apologize for my bass playing during PDH. I'm hoping nobody... I know that was on video. So, yeah, that's pretty brutal, but I plan on redeeming myself for the uptight drumming, and I think it's going to turn out great. I'm totally stoked and pumped about the drumming part, not so much about the bass playing part or the singing, because, you know, when you're playing bass and you're 18 and you're skinny and you got long hair and it's all good, and you gain a lot of poundage over the years, and it's right after Thanksgiving and you're going bald, it don't quite come across the same way. It's like Tom Araya that, I don't know, got the scurvy.
Laura Mutin was real. She was the real deal. She was like behind the scenes. You know, behind every great guy that puts on shows, there's a really cool chick.
Right here? Yeah.
Put on shows, yeah. Laura had a lot to do with a lot of shows that happened in Florence. Uptight, American Legion, Uptight, Fugazi, all kind of shit. Laura had a lot to do with that.
A lot.
I remember how excited Alan Johnson was when Kevin Smith opened a professional recording studio in Alan's house, because he always wanted to have a professional recording studio in that house.
Oh, there it is.
And he was thrilled. Thanks to Kevin Smith, he got to have that experience.
Anyway,
Give me some punk rock memories.
here's a punk rock bagpipe, huh? Punk rock memory.
Punk rock bagpipes.
Yeah.
What's your
Punk rock.
best punk rock bagpipe memory right there?
Except for that time we played in Clemson, the crazy bagpipe just took over, but that was funny. But anyway, there's bagpipes just pop up when you least expect it sometimes. You can't deny them because they're loud. And they're dancing around in skirts. But no.
My baby is a cry baby. She sits on my lap and balls. My baby is a tight mechanic. She works on my nuts and tools, and she'll do it. She goes down.
All right, I'm Herman Mutin. I'm your host for tonight. Don't touch the hair, by the way.
Going to the Patriots retreat, Sex Mutants were playing. I remember thinking, that's the loudest band I've heard ever. I guess I was 19. Man, they're so loud. So terrible. I loved it. They were so freaking great. And I just remember, like, Alan, like, changing some strings for them, but they were just so, it was just a great time.
Bacon. Eddie Bacon.
Don't touch the fucking hair, Alan. God damn it, since 1984, I've asked this guy not to touch the hair.
Alan Johnson, he's the man. All I know is the first thing I knew about me and Sid Mutin were riding down there drinking beer, and there was all of a sudden a band playing out in the parking lot where Parker Music turned out to be, and that was Jimmy Mitchell's band with Chris Contrace, and they were playing on the metal with
Saber.
Saber, Mylan, and what's his name? John Shoop, Jay Shoop.
And Ken Jones he's back in town.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's got a recording studio in town.
Did he go all metal in Cali?
Well, I got a story about you at Parker Music. Going into Parker Music, and I wanted an EMG 81. And you sold me one, and it was already cool because your strings had worn grooves in the pickup. And I was like, well, how much? And I knew how much they cost. And you sold it to me for like $20, dude, and wired it up for me and everything for like, no, it was like 25. Yeah, it was like 20 or 25 bucks. And I was like, and then I played that, and that was my first EMG, man. I'm drunk. I'm not as drunk as Darren, but I'm drunk.
The only bass lessons I've ever had in my life came from Alan. And still to this day, I still do the little warm-up exercise that he taught me.
And here comes Alan. He's getting ready to do some freestyle. Here we go. Come on, Alan.
He would inspire you effortlessly. And I can't really think of too many people I can say that about, but I can really say that that's true for Alan.
I thought it was a girl screaming.
TV 13, is it on? It's TV 13, WIS. Is it on? It's on. So, all right, speaking of punk rock, This is the man right here. Listen, this is Wes Helms. My mug on this. Ready? There you go. There you go. That's love right there. That's love. That's how that works.
I'm at the show and I look and I'm in the mosh pit and there's this redhead bushy guy in the mosh pit, and it's I had just started 9th grade, and I'm like, hey, isn't that our teacher out there in the pit? And it was Andy Sell.
If it was not for Alan Jay, we would not be standing here right now. Of course, Alan Jay could have steered me in the right musical direction to make some fucking money. That would have been nice. Alan Jay, where are you?
I walked out here, there was a cop car where there were like 20 people, and there was girls that just standing there like they weren't messing with, they were messing with certain. And then the cop car goes like, well, they let them go, but it looked like Herman and a couple of them changed. And then they go, no, there's a cop. When the cop car left, but a cop stayed there with them and changed it. But there was like 10, 20 people.
And they're still sitting
there. They
there.
messing with
Herman's still there.
The cop car left. And then now there's a paddy wagon, and they loaded it looked like they loaded 10, 20 people in the paddy wagon. And there's another cop car around the corner you can't see. He was walking around. Yeah, and I just thought it was Herman. I think he was drinking beer. What he was doing? It was a bunch of them. You know, like they arrested a bunch of them. Drinking beer, smoking a weed, or breaking into the bank. I don't know.
Is there a lawyer in the house?
Jeff was MIA. We're also concerned about the Jeffrey. He was missing, but we found him. He's like the elusive Bigfoot, that Jeff Frazier.
I've got aluminum foil that will protect us.
That kind of like 2 turntables and a microphone.
The Beveled Man, the Skunk Ape, Bigfoot.
Don't put this on tape.
Alan Johnson is straight talking trash now, suckers.
So Jeff, he hadn't used tape in longer than I haven't used tape.
Don't you have something
There's no
intelligent
tape in
to
there.
say? Something intelligent to say. Come on.
Wow, wow, chicka, chicka, wow, wow, chicka, wow, wow. Yeah! Wah! Wah! I'm a Rage Against the Machine!
Alan Johnson fucking rules.
No more questions.